Make no mistake, what's happening in Gaza is not just the side effects or casualties of war. I mean, this is all very intentional and targeted. Gaza is experiencing catastrophic levels of hunger. Every day, people will die from starvation. That's what that means when you say catastrophic levels of hunger. At Nasser Hospital, the doctors there asked me, can you please smuggle in baby formula for the premature infants in this hospital wing? Can you please do something? And I was packing them in between my scrubs, the clothes that I wear in the hospital, and I was denied entry.
The United Nations has officially declared famine in Gaza. The situation is unspeakable, children are dying, and the world continues to watch. To discuss this and more, I'm being joined by somebody who was in Gaza, who has seen it happen right in front of his eyes, Dr. Thaer Ahmad. He experienced delivering emergency medical care on the front lines in Gaza and in Lebanon, and now he joins me from Chicago. Dr. Ahmad, thank you so much for joining us here. Let's begin with what is happening in Gaza and your first-hand experience.
Yeah, I mean, what's happening in Gaza is an absolute catastrophe that's being implemented by a very advanced and sophisticated military. Make no mistake, what's happening in Gaza is not just the side effects or casualties of war. I mean, this is all very intentional and targeted. And so let's take a few examples very briefly to talk about what's going on. As a medical physician, as a global health expert, as somebody who's involved in emergency response and has worked in different parts of the world, I've never seen hospitals and healthcare workers be targeted. I've never seen them lose the protections that they are insured under international humanitarian law. But that's exactly what we've seen in Gaza over the last 22 months. That's what I personally felt when I was at Nasser Hospital, the hospital that was struck yet again today, right now as we speak, hit by multiple Israeli missiles, killing the journalists and the first responders that were there. And this is something that we've seen. It's a trend. This is not a mistake. This is not an accident. This is not just something that can happen in war. This is a deliberate effort to dismantle and collapse the healthcare system in Gaza. And that's why you've seen out of the 36 hospitals that once stood in Gaza, 18 of them are no longer functioning. And the other 18 are merely partially functioning. And what does that mean? That means the services that you would normally provide to save people's lives, to cure their illness, to heal their sicknesses, and to treat their wounds are not readily available for anybody that's walking through their doors. They're partially available, meaning that the people will suffer consequences and outcomes as a result of this. So that's just the healthcare system. What about food security? What about the ability for families to make sure that they have food on the table so that children and babies can have the nutrients that they need to be able to survive, to grow, and to thrive? That is being deliberately obstructed and withheld by the Israeli military in a way that even as last week, the IPC report, which is a report that's published about hunger and starvation, said that Gaza is experiencing catastrophic levels of hunger. Every day, people will die from starvation. That's what that means when you say catastrophic levels of hunger. It means that families will go 24 hours without any sort of food whatsoever. It means adults will skip meals to provide their children with whatever they can find. And that our children in Gaza are not being exposed to all of the food groups that are needed for them to be able to develop normally, for them to be able to grow, to have strong immune systems, and to live full lives. And then what about water? I mean, we talk about water infrastructure being totally damaged and destroyed, the inability to be able to desalinate the salt water from the sea, the inability to filter the water that exists so that it's fit for human consumption, the lack of wells being accessed and being destroyed. And I haven't even begun to talk about this new invasion of Gaza City, this new Israeli military offensive that's going to affect 500,000 people who are dealing with all of the things that I just mentioned. We're talking about ground troops, tanks, fighter jets, and drones absolutely decimating Gaza City. And so everything that you're seeing is a very deliberate and calculated effort to make sure life cannot be sustained in Gaza.